Learning Network. Put your hand back.
We want better. 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 We want better.
I pledge to carefully assess the school board decision about school closing and to work to reopen any school where the school age population, the largest, where the school age population is large enough and where the appropriate practice and procedure can be set in place to make sure the schools can be improved to meet the necessary standards. Further, I will work with parents, the school board, the teacher unions, and identify feasible steps that can be taken to improve the quality of education provided by all schools.
Everybody, let's give our candidate a great hand the next man to the Chicago. So give it to him. Just give me 1 minute here. And tonight at 6 p.m., at the Chicago Baptist Institute, CBI, 6 p.m. tonight, Chicago Baptist Institute, 5120 South King Drive. 5120 South King Drive, we'll be having our volunteer meeting. You want to volunteer for this campaign. If there are people that you know, bring them with you, because this is not something that was planned 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. This is something that is a movement. It is a movement for all the people. And our leader in this movement, who is a servant of people for decades, he just didn't start, is Dr. Willie Wilson. And again, tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m., 69 West Washington, the Board of Elections will be there because Dr. Willie Wilson came out of a segregated Jim Crow Louisiana. So he knows all about voter suppression and disenfranchisement. It isn't the first time he's seen it, so guess what, Rom? This ain't Willie's first rodeo. And a wonderful friend of Dr. Wilson is going to say something. Come on, and then we're going to have prayer, and we're going to dismiss, and we're going to win this election. Because Dr. Willie Wilson came out of a segregated Jim Crow Louisiana. So he knows all about voter suppression and disenfranchisement. It isn't the first time he's seen it, so guess what, Rom? So guess what, Rom? So guess what, Rom? This ain't Willie's first rodeo.
My name's not important, but I prefer being called Izzy, and this is my wife, Dr. Z. We have a lot of things in common. I came here when I was at the age of 10. My parents are concentration camp victims. We came with 2 pieces of luggage. And I put myself through school, actually being a bellhop at Drake Hotel. I also worked at McDonald's. I graduated from the University of Illinois, and I'm a self-made man. And I traded in the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, and that's the way I made all my money. Half of my money goes to my wife, the other half goes to me. And with that money, I pay my taxes, I do my philanthropy. I also lost a 24-year-old adopted son. I don't know if he was killed. The reality is we found his body 10 years later in Washington State. Could have been an accident, I doubt it. I suspect it was somebody that I know who happened to be married to my adopted daughter. She claims not, but I don't believe it. The reality is the past is past, and also the past is past for this administration and other administrations. What this man has is he has the ability to bring us all together, whether you're Jewish, black, white, Baptist, whatever. I'm backing him because he doesn't want anything from me. He just wants me to basically give him advice, and I give my wife advice, and she says I don't listen to her, and I say I always listen to her, I just don't do what she says. So the reality is, this is the hope for bridging the bridge between white people, black people, and Mongolians. The Mongolians are the best warriors in the world, but she's a pussycat. She literally won't hurt anybody. I was in the hospital at Northwestern for 2 years. This lady saved my life. So I said, I'll marry you. And she said, well, I want your money. So I gave her half my money. The reality is, this is the guy you want to vote for.
My name is Zahra Qadri. I'm the Executive Director from ZAM's Hope Community Resource Center. And you are watching
The Higher Learning Network. Peace out. Yeah, that was good.
Yes, so my name is Reverend Kazuo Takami. I'm a chairman of American Clergy Leadership Conference, Chicago, and a pastor of Chicago Family Church. So you may be seeing me in a different color, but I do believe one thing about my God. The God is colorblind. So I'm standing here not because of color or race or even belief. I'm standing here because I do believe that this Dr. Willie Wilson is the good man. And I do believe he can do the job. So that's why I'm standing here. So thank you so much, and I'd like to really propose.
I knew I should have followed my first mind and started networking a lot sooner, because I would have been able to make even more connections for business and for jobs across the Chicagoland area.
The instructor, after one doctor saw me doing chest compressions on this patient, and so I had to develop something, a teaching tool that will train people and let them know that if they're compressing the chest deep enough, let them know if they have the airway open properly, giving it enough breaths, all incorporated inside the computer inside Transmax. And now people are actually learning how to do CPR properly, versus the old way is kind of obsolete. This is just training with technology.
talking to will have. And the first thing is, how was your day?
Right.
And not just how was your day, you know, where you're acting. I really want to know how your day is.
And there was, you helped me with that, and you did a wonderful job. As a great volunteer,
And as a result, this is a celebration of 15 years of excellent service.
Hi, my name is Samuel Oscar Prasad, and I lived in the city of Chicago for over 20 years. And as you can see around me, I'm an immigrant. I came here with a dream, and the only thing I wanted to emphasize is the city needs a leader who is diverse and who recognizes what communities are going through economically, and that is the only reason we are supporting Dr. Willie Wilson, who has proven over and over that he is a man of the community. And he's going to bring the communities together, and I believe and trust in him that he will have an open door policy where everyone can walk in and present their issues, and he's the guy who's going to change this city and make it better for all our communities. And here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
This man is unbelievable, and I'm not for sale, okay, as Dr. Willie always says. I'm a born-again Christian approximately 8 weeks ago. I met Dr. Willie Wilson and his beautiful wife when I was living in my penthouse, and I had some unfortunate changes in financial situation, so I had to re-advertise my penthouse. Dr. Willie Wilson took it over, and I was praying to God and met Dr. Willie Wilson. So all I have to say is that he's got my vote, and words can't explain Dr. Willie. He's got the biggest heart that I've ever met. Great guy. Vote for Dr. Willie Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Reverend Krista Austin. You might know me from the Chicago Public School closing fight. Glory to God. I have my 14-year-old son. Raise your hand, Gavin. I ended up homeschooling him because they closed his school price for underutilization. But I want the mayor to know that we're going to have a mayor that is for the schools, for our children in the community. And this is why we're supporting Willie Wilson, because he understands the plight of our people. And the fact that Price was closed, but yet now, even today, a group called City Year is using it on Fridays. And my son have to watch those individuals go inside of the building, but yet it was closed for underutilization.
That's right.
We have a church renting it now. And at one time, they were training the K-9 unit in his building. And our children in the community had to watch that. So I want our mayor to understand, it's over with. It's over with. Because the parents that fought for our schools to stay open, we are going to make sure he's out of it. Thank you.
It's our press conference, but it's the beginning of a new world. And now another Chicago giant, the Reverend Dr. T.L. Baird of the Life Center Church, is going to close us out as only he can do.
Before I pray, there's just a couple of things I want to say. I support Dr. Willie Wilson for a few reasons that are very pertinent to me, very important to me. There was a meeting of majority African American ministers and one Asian minister held at Dr. Wilson's office downtown. I was the last one to arrive, and I used the bathroom before I came into the meeting. While I was there, God spoke to me and said, you go out there and tell those ministers two things. That Dr. Wilson is one of you all, but he's also one of mine. And the reason why he's one of mine is because he has given me his heart and he's given me his checkbook. And what he does with his checkbook is not quid pro quo. In other words, he doesn't give you something expecting something in return because he's mine. And he does what I tell him to do. I said, but I can't go out there and say that he's one of ours because there's not only black ministers out there. Reverend Takami's out there. There he is. He said, and he's not black. God said, you do what I tell you to do. Go out there and say he's one of yours, but he's also one of mine. I argued 3 times. God said, I'm going to tell you one more time. Go out there and do what I say do. Say that he's one of yours and do what I say. All right, I'm going to go out there and say they're going to think I'm crazy because he's not black. I go out there and Reverend Takami is not there. I said, where's Reverend Takami? They say, he got a phone call. He's in the room. God said, you do what you do, let me do what I do. So I told those ministers what God said, that Dr. Wilson is one of you all. He's black. But more importantly, he's one of mine. Because he has given me his heart and he's given me his chest. Second thing. So I say what goes on here and what not goes on here. The meeting will be held here. Dr. Wilson said, I don't want to cause any problems.
Hallelujah.
I've never seen this before in my life. A politician would say, it's going to be where I want it to be. All the media's, all of the announcements out. But this man said, I don't want to cause your son any problem. He said, I can call another venue. And I said, Dr. Wilson, I'm inviting you to have the meeting here. He said, family comes first. This is a humanitarian. He is not a politician. Somebody say, not a politician. He's a humanitarian. And I thank you so much for giving God your heart. And that prayer that they wanted me to pray, it's already prayed. We have to just agree. God, your will must be done. Dr. Willie Wilson must run in the name of Jesus. It is so, and so it is. Run, Willie, run.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes our press conference. See you at 6 o'clock tonight. Chicago Baptist Institute, 5120 South King Drive. We want Willie. 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 Run, Willie, run. Run, Willie, run.
knew I should have followed my first mind and started networking a lot sooner because I would have been able to make even more connections for business and for jobs across the Chicagoland area.
The instructor, after one doctor saw me doing chest compressions on this patient, so I had to develop something, a teaching tool that will train people and let them know that if they're compressing the chest deep enough, let them know if they have the airway open properly, giving it enough breaths, all incorporated inside the computer inside Transmax. And now people are actually learning how to do CPR properly versus the old way is kind of obsolete. This is just training with technology.
Person that they're talking to will have. And the first thing is, how was your day? Right. And not just how was your day, where you're acting. I really want to know how your day is.
And there was, you helped me with that and you did a wonderful job. As a great volunteer,
And as a result, this is a celebration of 15 years of excellent service.